Narcissists use sex to hurt you. Sexual intimacy is meant to be a combination of physical attraction and emotional closeness between sexual partners. It's meant to involve feelings of trust and vulnerability. But this does not happen with narcissists because they are toxic. So they use sex as a weapon. They use sex to hurt you. Until you start to question if there's something wrong with you. Because you don't understand why the two of you are not connecting. It seems very strange and unusual. It may be something you've never encountered before. But because their minds are so messed up and their neural circuitry is so miswired, they weaponize this against you. They use it to manipulate and control you. They use sex as a tool to accomplish something unrelated that it was never intended for. They use it as a weapon against you, which is so bizarre. It's so unnatural. It's actually contrary to the ordinary course of nature, but it's the way that they're wired. So intimacy does not mean the same thing for them as it does for you, which is how they're able to weaponize it against you. Because they're very insecure, they cannot enjoy intimacy or vulnerability. So instead they use it to control you. Because they have to know the outcome. They have to know what's going to happen. They have to be 10 steps ahead of you at all times. So that they're always ready to respond to whatever might occur. But by doing this, everything just seems to end badly. Because they're always thinking 10 steps ahead. They're never in the present moment with you. Because they're always just trying to make things go their way. They are deeply insecure. They feel out of control. They feel inadequate. And this is why they rely so heavily on the manipulation. Because otherwise, they feel like things naturally wouldn't go their way. So it's done as a means to overturn natural selection, to reverse the natural order by manipulating you and controlling you in an unfair and dishonest way, which causes them to see people as transactional. So no one really means anything to them. They just see people as objects, which means that they can't connect to people. They can't pair bond, because rather than seeing people as people, they see people as objects. They see us as pawns on a chessboard. They move you around in order to get a certain outcome through the use of emotional manipulation. They induce you into a specific emotional state. They exploit sex, which is a basic physiological need. They make sex the enemy, when it's just something that humans need. It's just as significant as food and sleep. So not having sex can affect your health and success just as much as not eating or sleeping. Which means that if they take away this essential need that you require to live, or they manipulate how and when they choose to give it, it leaves you to become dependent on them for it, to where you're unable to continue normally without them. You can't function without their help, which gives them the ability to manipulate your emotions. It brings them amusement, and it gives them an advantage over you. And once they sense that they have the advantage, they then lose interest in you. They can't feel anything for you anymore. They become emotionally distant because they feel they already got what they wanted. They've already had disproportionate influence over your choices, behaviours and well-being, to the point where you felt helpless and you had an inability to self-advocate, which is all that they were really trying to achieve. So once they get this from you, once they know that you want to be intimate with them, you've already rendered your power over to them. And then they lose interest in you. because they don't really care about sexual pleasure or connection. It's all a mind game for them. It's emotional manipulation. They use sex to manipulate you into giving your power to them, to make you dependent on them, so that they can use it to punish you. Which is why initially they will love bomb you. They will tell you everything you want to hear. They will do everything you want to do, because they want you to relax. They want you to cease being cautious and show your feelings, so that you will trust and believe in them, and you will start to feel comfortable, because then they've got you and you never saw it coming. But they already knew, once you let your guard down, that by that point they would have you dependent on them. And once they've baited you in, they switch it up on you, because then they already know that you're wanting something from them. So they already feel like they have the power now. But they're not meant to have power, because they will just use it as a tool to manipulate you. They will use it to skillfully and carefully coordinate their specific agenda, because that's what this is. They have a clearly defined scheme or plan that revolves around their own deficiencies and inadequacies, which you aren't even aware of, because they can't be vulnerable. So they never reveal this to you. But what you do notice is that the affection is suddenly gone. They've suddenly withdrawn from you, and maybe they're no longer communicating with you, because they're deeply insecure about something, which is why they're intentionally removing themselves from you, because it's a danger for them. They don't want to be exposed. They don't want you to see them like a deer caught in the headlights. They don't want you to see them panicking, so they run and they hide. Because initially, they pretended to be everything that you would want them to be. They pretended to be someone that you would desire and want. But where is it meant to go after that, since they're not really who they portray themselves to be? So all they can do is take it away. They haven't got another option, because it's either that or they expose themselves. But it confuses you. It leaves you wondering what happened, because it will be confusing for you. It will be difficult for you to understand, and they know it, which is why they play on that, because they know it's going to leave you questioning if you did something wrong. But you haven't done anything wrong. They're just playing a game, because it serves them to play this game. Playing a game puts them at an advantage. While if they were to not play a game, they would lose. So they withdraw intimacy, which immediately gives them the advantage, and it puts you at a disadvantage to where you're under their control, which leaves you feeling insecure and causes you to question what you did wrong, until you're left chasing approval from the narcissist, which is exactly what they want you to do. Because if they were to be vulnerable and exposed, they would be the ones who are chasing approval from you, which is why they withdraw intimacy, because they trusted someone in their childhood and that person took advantage of them. So now they're very distrustful. They can't be vulnerable in that way. They would rather be on the other end of it. They'd rather be the one who makes you vulnerable and exposed to them, which is why they use this tactic to get you to chase approval from them. But by them doing that, it destroys any sense of connection, and then there isn't any pleasure. There isn't a bond. So then there isn't even a relationship. It's just a one-sided transaction, which may feel very strange to you. It may make you wonder why this is happening, but it's because they feel overpowered. So then they use sex as a weapon to destroy you. They manipulate you into thinking there's something wrong with you, which diminishes your self-esteem. It makes you feel like you're not good enough, So then you might assume that maybe someone else is good enough, which is exactly what they want, because they know they're just manipulating you, and they feel like someone else might be better for you. So they turn the tables on you and they use it to erode your confidence, because they feel like it's either yours or theirs. But this is the type of dynamic that they love. They want you to feel like you're not good enough. They want you to think that they don't want you. They want you to fear rejection and abandonment, because that's exactly how they feel with you, and they don't want to feel that way. They want to be on the other end of it. So they have to be in a position of power over you, which is why they will use intermittent reinforcement. They will act hot and cold, to where it's like 1 minute they love you and the next minute they hate you, which is very toxic and unhealthy, because healthy people do not have these sudden shifts. They do not use sex as a reward. They see sex as a bond, as something that two people feel and share together. But narcissists use sex as a tool to make you do what they want, and they also use sex to punish you, when sex is a human need. So it's not about whether you're good or bad, because it's like food. If you need it, you should have it. But even when you do have sex with them, it's not going to be up to par, because they can't emotionally connect. They don't love themselves, so they haven't got any love to give. And they're miserable people, so they haven't got any happiness to express, which is why it will feel strange and robotic. It will feel like they're not really there. But just know that it has nothing to do with you. It's not because you're not good enough. It's not because you couldn't satisfy them. Instead of questioning your worth or abilities, question their actions. They are very damaging and toxic. They're using sex as a tool to control people, and that is very weird. It's not normal, which is why it will affect you more than it affects them. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Share your thoughts in the comment section. Hit the subscribe button to receive the notifications. If you would like to support the channel, you can donate at paypal.me/Narc Survivor. You can book a one-on-one with me on my website. It's narcsurvivor.co.uk. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.